Alright gentlemen, I'm going to go over how to do a couple of these exercises and the activity that you should definitely do before you take the exam. And so let's look at this one for example. In the following code segment, A and B are non-negative doubles. Write a code that assigns to B the result of rounding A to the nearest integer. So I'm thinking, I jump right away to this, and I did mention this in class, math.round A. And so then I can click on test case 1, and it automatically feeds the value that from test case 1 into here, and the expected result is 3.0. So if I run it, oh yeah, definitely have to run your things before you submit them because anybody can make a mistake. Let's see, there you go, the rounded result is 3.0. Test case number 2, I click on it, it feeds it there, the expected result is 18. So let's run it, we do get 18. Then the next case is that the expected result is 0, so let's run it, and indeed the result is 0. But actually what they're expecting, in case you don't remember this, you can still do this. What they're expecting is more along the lines of cleverness. So if you think about it, if you take any number um, that you want to round, let's say that you want 6.7, right? 6.7. What's going to happen, and when you cast this to an int, it's going to cut off the decimal part, right? And get it's going to get reduced to 6. But what would happen if you did this? Then um, no matter what the number is, so if it's a number that would have gotten rounded down to the lower, it's always going to be less. So let's say that it was 6.1 instead of 6.7. When you add 0.5, if it's anything less, if the decimal is anything less than 0.5, it'll still be less than 0.9999, the 0.99999 whenever you add the 0.5, right? So it's still going to get rounded down. However, if it's 0.5 or more, then when you add another 0.5, you're going to make it to the next integer. So when you cast down to an int, what's going to happen is you will round, essentially you will round up from the value that you originally had. So if we run this, for example, we see that the expected result is 3. Well, actually, let me change this from 6.7 to A. So now this should work. Now the rounded result is 3. Okay, then we go to the next test case is 17.5. So if we run that, the rounded result is 18. Then the next test case is, let's test this last one. It's 10.0. Expected result is 10.0. So that's definitely going to be correct. Let's do this one, 6.50001. If we run it, then we get the expected result indeed. So we submit this, yes, we're going to get full credit. Okay, now let's talk about the next one. So in the following code segment, A and B are non-negative doubles. Write code that assigns to B the result of rounding A to 1 decimal place. So let's feed the first test case in there. And I'm thinking it's going to be something along the lines of B equaling A times 10, right? So if we multiply times 10, what we're going to get is the decimal point is going to be here, right? And then decimal point is going to be here. So we can cast that to an int and get rid of all of this and then divide by 10 again. Okay? And let's see if that will work. Okay. Actually, it won't work. I already thought of why, but let's run it anyway. So expect the result, the rounded result is 3.0. Oh, why? Well, you cast this to an int, right? So we have A times 10, that's going to be 31.41, blah, blah, blah. We cast it to an int, so we now have 31 divided by 10 is going to be 3. So it's int by int, it's going to be 3. And then it gets sent back to double when you assign it to B. But let's try this now, which I think will work for this case, but it's still not the general solution. There you go. So it works for this case. But now let's test the next case and run. You see, look, expected result is 17.3 and the rounded result is 17.2. Why is that? Because when we have 17.25, we multiply that by 10. So if we multiply that by 10, we have 172.5, right? Then we cast that down to an int, and we have 172. And then we divide it by 10, so we have 17.2. So in reality, when we have the 17.5, instead of casting it to an int, we should be rounding it. That's where the rounding takes place. And we saw just in a minute ago in this exercise how to round. So that's what we're going to do. Right here, we need to apply that same concept of adding the 0.5 plus 0.5. Okay? And then that's where you're going to get your expected results. Let's see here. Yeah, that should be it. 17.3. Let's test the next case. It's 0.04999. Expected result is 0.0. There we go. Next case, 6.05. The expected result is 6.1. There we go. And the next case, there we go. So we submit this. There we go. So we got a good grade for it. And then there's only one more. I'll leave that up to you.